That's right. I bet you thought we were getting canceled, but we're back.
It wasn't a ruse. We weren't like, we were going to be back for season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
We had to talk to the landlord. They let us back.
We had to make sure
nice.
John and Lindsay were willing to come back.
Work for the wages that they work for.
I had to negotiate my contract for sure.
Yep. She got the same she got last year.
You can see we did a little bit of revamping. We took the Christmas tree down and tried to get the left of center gift up from Marissa, but from Judge Marissa, but we didn't have a chance to take Biden down yet. So it's kind of in the we're working on it.
We have a new employee. I can't believe he's not all over this.
I don't know if you want to call him employee. That implies wages.
Yeah. We have a new employee, Kyle the intern. He makes nothing, and he gets complained to a lot by us, which is excellent. So what's up with Kyle? Like, he should be all over this crap, Kevin.
Well, Kyle the intern once again has let us down.
Kyle the intern.
New. It's fine.
I know. I mean, doesn't Kyle know that part of his job is swinging a hammer?
He'll get caught up. Don't worry.
Part of his job is to make us happy.
Yeah. Swinging a hammer would make us happy. Like,
getting this fixed.
This is unacceptable. I mean, this is the beginning of season 2, and we're all jacked up.
So, well, it's good to be back, really. I hope did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, it was nice.
Saw you got a little skiing in.
I got a lot of skiing in.
It's good. I did too. I got only a day in, but
I saw that. Was it cross country or was it downhill?
No, we were downhill. It's great. I mean, we're hour and a half from the slopes and 5 minutes from the beach.
Did you surf too?
I did not surf. That would be a bad idea. But
is that hard?
The kids did. Matt's real good at it. I mean,
I know. I saw like for Ethan. Ethan's a good athlete.
Yep.
Did he pick it up?
He picked it up. They did more. Charlie did it. Aiden did it. Ethan.
Were they actually surfing?
Trying to get up. I would
Really?
say they got up momentarily.
So it's that hard.
I would say I think if you're a good skateboarder, you're a good surfer.
What about snowboarder? I imagine.
I would think if you're a good snowboarder, you can surf. Yeah, right. It's pretty amazing though. They got cameras. It's like an app. There's a wave coming. You can go out there and surf. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice to get away for a little bit.
That's like Slopes now. Slopes
is great. They got a surf app, a Slopes app, right?
Really? They have a surf app?
Surf
same
app,
thing?
yeah. It shows like
how many rides
Matt was showing me. Like I went 400 feet on this wave.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like that's the Slope app now. It's the same thing. It tells you how fast you went down which run, and when you go on the lifts coming up, it turns off.
And it goes speed and distance, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and calories.
That's cool.
You know, downhill skiing is very few burned calories.
I believe that.
Because it's only like 30 seconds. You're working hard for 30 seconds. And then
depending on the run, yeah.
Sitting there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, going back up.
I'll tell you this, though, man. It hurt. My quads and my knees always are burning.
Yeah.
From
I think I'm
skiing.
in real good shape. And
you're a picture of health.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that goes without saying. But no, I'm serious. Like, I've been working out a lot harder. I know you know that. But like when I went skiing this last time, I skied 6 different times. And
no kidding.
I was beat up towards the end.
It takes a toll on my knees, man. My knees and quads when I ski, but I'm not as good a shape as you are.
I keep up with my kid, which is huge.
That's big.
Tomas.
Got to be able to do that.
Tomas is awesome.
He's snowboarding though, right?
Awesome. Yeah, he's
a skater, snowboarder.
He's super, super fast. Like, it's crazy, actually. Like, he's way faster than me, and I think I'm fast. So...
You guys sound like 2 old people right now. Like,
why?
I could keep up with my son.
It's good to keep up with the boy.
Yeah. I don't think I can.
It's bad on my knees.
Thanks, Lindsay, for reminding us.
My hemorrhoids hurt.
Where we're really at. Why don't you lead us in then, Lindsay?
When we're talking about hemorrhoids on left of center,
it's time to just
we jumped the shark.
Pack it in.
Welcome to season 2.
What tarnation?
Mayor Tom discusses
2 old men discuss their knee problems.
My hemorrhoids are itching.
My hips are bad.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, the intern, is in the chat already.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ask him what the hell, man. The studio looks like crap. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, we left here and I expected Kyle to clean all this crap up. What's going on?
The boxes are here. The shelves are
Kyle,
here. No shelves.
So if you have... Basically, if you have complaints about us, we're going to blame Kyle the intern.
Oh.
Temporarily.
That's what interns are for.
It's true.
Doesn't Kyle realize that he's like going to be the new punching bag? That's part of the job.
Intern is.
This is your notification, Kyle.
I don't think anyone's been here in
Yeah, it was like it was dusty.
I mean, call me ridiculous, but I expected to come back to a new studio. And
we hired him yesterday at like 8:30 p.m.
Why
haven't you cleaned this place?
Hiring again
he doesn't
implies
even know
wages.
where we are.
Well, dude, literally, we closed the door 2 weeks ago, and then we opened it this morning. And it was like the first time. Like, I thought there was be a lot of hard work.
When I pulled the papers off from December, they were yellow. So was that a bad thing? Newspapers? I was like, man, I got to get these out of here.
Tom walked in at 7:31. Like, hey, what are we talking about today?
I walked in at 7:31, but
This is why
I
we
was
get
on
so many
time.
listeners. It's all the prep. It's
I
all
was
the
on time.
Exciting prep we do.
yeah,
You
we were
were
like,
a
"Hey,
minute
who's the
late.
guest for Friday?" I'm like, "That would take planning." And that would
You
take-
did say that.
That would take. That's Kyle the intern's job.
Is
It's
he
not-
also our booker?
Did you guys
Kyle
realize
the intern's the booker too?
I'm a
I guess
personality on
so.
this? I don't have to book guests. I'm a personality on the show.
You just walk in and
make the magic happen. That's my job.
you can tell it's happening.
Just walk in and just
Always
boom,
happening.
Magic is happening.
Lindsay, read your spiel so we can keep
Gladly.
moving
Sure.
and get to our sponsors. Welcome back.
You are listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while having way too much fun while doing it. And if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod, LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from the Apple Podcast or Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 500 kilohertz per second. Just search Left of Center and look for our red and blue logo. Don't forget also on the Spotify and Apple Podcast app to subscribe and rate, because that makes us more visible to people who aren't following us on Facebook. And if you have a business or you're running for office or you just like to give people money and want us to talk about you, send us an email at leftofcenterpod@gmail.com and I can get you started on a sponsorship package for Left of Center.
Thanks, Linz.
You're welcome.
You know, to give you a little preview of the show, we took personality quizzes over the break. That's one thing we did. And I have the results right in front of me. We'll go through those in the second half of the show.
Yeah, we're going to get that later.
So we'll do that after the break. But this is really interesting. I learned things about my coworkers
Yes.
that is sort of disturbing.
I feel the same.
Yeah. You haven't seen them yet, and I have.
All right, well, we can't wait to review
I've
those.
learned things about my
Stay
lawyer.
tuned.
I've learned things about my lawyer, Kevin, that are
your
really
former
disturbing.
lawyer?
Yeah, like there's a lot of
Yikes.
there's a lot of really concerning stuff in here, Kevin.
Deep emotional.
No, it's just like
No.
psychotic episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like I think that's what it said. Something
Keep
along those
listening to
lines.
hear
Right.
all those results.
Yeah, so today we have we're going to talk a little bit about water department employee firing a gun into the air. My
Yeah.
chief of police retired yesterday. Congressman Mervan was sworn in.
All kinds of fun stuff. A fight with a state rep. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, that
It's all
guy's
fun.
a humongous jagoff.
Here, well, we're going to see
State
what
rep.
people think
I think
about
that's
that.
his nickname, representative.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's do the sponsors and come on back.
All right, you go ahead and start.
Ooh, I get to start.
Aaron,
Thank
likes it
you
when
to
do
Latitude Commercial, which is a full-service commercial real estate brokerage and property management firm specializing in northern Indiana and the Chicago suburbs. Local tenants and national developers have benefited from Latitude's experience in the commercial real estate market. When you select Latitude Commercial, you get Chicagoland expertise with worldwide marketing and networking ability. Whether you're a developer looking to sell, a tenant looking to expand, an investor looking to purchase, or an owner in need of property management services, Latitude can help. Contact Latitude at 219-864-0200 or at latitudeco.com so they can get to work for you and get a jump, by the way, on the spring selling season.
What is the emoji of the day, Lindsay? Is that a brain?
Brain.
It is a brain.
A red brain?
I have a headache.
Oh.
Okay.
It's pink.
Yeah.
Are you colorblind?
Yeah, I guess.
Brian, I
have.
have a headache.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go.
Just keep moving.
True Barbecue in Munster. You don't have to go to Chicago to find good food and a fine dining experience. True Barbecue in Munster has all of that and more. Stop by and take a look at our menu full of barbecue favorites with some new twists on old classics. Choose a drink from our extensive list of whiskeys like a Wolford on the rocks, or stick with one of your favorites like Mayor Tom's vodka with the muddled lime. Located at 8940 Calumet Avenue in Munster, come visit us and enjoy a true barbecue.
And finally, new sponsor, and we'll actually come back from an old sponsor. This is great, and if you know Joey Laxalinas' work, you'll really appreciate this. Joey Laxalinas Photography. After the 2020-21 school year, high school in Hammond will look much different. In order to preserve what we know and recognize as our high schools today, Joey Laxalinas, a Gavitt graduate, has captured photos of all 4 of Hammond's public high schools and has put those albums on public display. Viewing's free, however, photos and keepsakes can also be purchased. Visit GavittHighSchool.com to see photos of Gavitt, or visit Hammond High Schools, plural.com to visit all of Hammond High School's portraits and photos. Joey's Gavitt Gallery also includes a 20-minute video walking tour of Gavitt. So check it out. It's really cool. I actually checked out the Gavitt one last night. It's really, really neat, the video. And I think John's going to try to throw a little bit up there if he can. So those are our sponsors for now.
The kid is talented, Joey Lex.
He really is.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, you have a lot of his photos.
A lot of his photos.
Taking some great ones of Hammond.
Yeah.
You have him in the mayor's office, the conference room,
throughout City Hall,
your personal office.
Yeah,
So
he's great.
check out
Big
Joey
fan.
for sure. Look him up.
Thanks for sponsoring our show, everybody. We still got a couple more coming up after the break, and if you're interested in sponsoring our show, please contact Lindsay. You could contact her through Facebook Messenger, or you could just reach out, or do what you do to contact her.
Can we?
Or maybe she'll contact you. Who knows?
I have been harassing some people.
Good. That's what you paid for.
Do you want to renew your subscription?
There you
your
go.
Sponsorship
Hopefully they
package?
say yes.
They usually do.
We'll send over the Roughnecks if it becomes necessary.
I'm going to try and sell another sponsorship package to Latitude Commercial, even though their sponsorship
Good
package
thinking.
doesn't
They
give
would
up
have no
until
idea.
April.
Just
No, they
sell
don't.
them-
They have no
sell
idea.
them too. They don't
Yeah.
keep track of that stuff.
They're playing pool.
Is Kyle the intern? Is he like physically like? Could he? Be
Does he
like,
exist?
Could he be like intimidating physically, Lindsay?
We could work on it for sure.
Like that'd be great. We
Like,
should
have him show up at
Kyle,
Latitude Commercial.
Stay
I'm
in the
hoping-
I'm
stay
here
in
for
the
I'm here
comments.
for my check.
I think
Can you beat up my uncle, Kyle?
Or just intimidate. I don't actually want physical. All right.
I do.
He should have like a sleeve, like what I'm saying, like a tattoo sleeve.
Left to center,
That's yeah.
like a left to center sleeve.
We send then we send in Kyle with his tattoo sleeves,
Banana hammock,
and we're just like, dude,
coffee mug,
where's your sponsorship?
ready to
for
go.
Lockpod?
Where's my check?
Where's my check?
Hey, I want to talk about something a little bit serious because this made the news. I know you've got an interview on Chicago TV this morning about this.
What time is that, by the way?
I think they're trying to set it up after you meet with the police. So
Good,
I
okay.
think it's after that.
No worries.
Eva's working on it.
Good.
And that is you
That's
posted
Fox
something
News.
there. It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Fox News, the good Fox,
Chicago.
the local Fox,
Chicago Fox.
Chicago Fox.
Why don't you go ahead and let us know what happened? I know
That's
that it
Dad's
made
old
the
username.
headline: "Celebrity shots, net firing."
So-
Celebratory shots, net firing.
Every time you go on vacation as mayor and you come back to work, anytime you come back to work on Monday is a bad day because everybody's saving up their crap for you. Usually they'll save it up from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of course, Sunday, and then they hit you on Monday. That's any mayor or any boss really knows that's something that happens quite often. So being on vacation, basically off for the holidays, coming back yesterday was a busy day. For those of you that aren't aware, a couple of years ago in the city of Hammond, I think it was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
It was
2017.
July 3rd, July 4th, something like that, 2017. During the 4th of July, some people think it's appropriate to fire guns into the air in celebration of, the 4th of July. Some people do it on New Year's, and they think that that's cool. I'm out there. Well, we had a young man named Noah Inman, who is a relative of one of our city employees that was struck by a bullet falling from the sky. He was playing basketball with his relatives and friends, and suddenly just dropped dead on the court. The bullet fell from the sky and hit him in the head.
Yep.
Which is obviously the worst case scenario. He died, and obviously, the next year, 2018, we go to the Indiana General Assembly. Representative Lawson, this is her last year as representative. She's carrying a bill on behalf of the city saying that if you fire a weapon into the sky
In a city or town.
in a city
in
or
an
town,
incorporated area.
it's a level 6 felony.
Yep.
And we didn't even get a damn hearing. Like, the General Assembly is so beholden to the gun lobby.
I think
that
Noah's mom went down there.
Noah's mom went down. Tons of Hammond residents, obviously the mayor, the administration. We had lobbyists work in it, and they didn't even the Republican supermajority in the Indiana State House didn't even give our bill a hearing. I have a license to carry my gun. I shoot regularly. I'm a believer in gun rights. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I think most of us gun owners can agree that shooting bullets into the sky is not appropriate behavior for the owner of a gun.
In
It's
a city
dangerous
or town, absolutely. In an incorporated area, it doesn't make any sense.
because there's people that live here, and that bullet comes down. Those bullets come down. Well,
Every one of them.
obviously the Republican supermajority in 2018 was so beholden to the gun lobby that they didn't even want to give Noah's bill a hearing. And
It was shocking.
shocking.
You had a
Just
13-year-old boy killed.
and his family there just saying, hey, can we make it a felony to fire weapons into the sky?
And this is a committee hearing, not even the full House.
They didn't even get to that point. Yeah,
That's
they
what I'm
killed
saying.
it before it even got out of committee. They wouldn't even listen to it because, we can't do that because then our NRA would be mad at us.
Talk about you can't even tell me that something as common sense as don't shoot a gun into the air in an incorporated area
Right.
doesn't get a hearing.
Right.
Oh no, anything with guns, we can't even let it see the light of day.
Right. Oh, no, we can't vote. We can't restrict people's ability to shoot bullets
The
into
NRA
sky.
may come after us in a
That's
primary.
right. And yeah, so obviously 2018 session, Linda doesn't, unfortunately, Representative Lawson, her last bill she carried didn't even get a hearing. Obviously, We haven't really had any success with this since then. So
fast forward.
I get to work and I see a video sent to me of an employee that's at a party packed with people. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy, I got a video sent to me of one of my employees. He's at a party, no masks, hundreds of people.
You got that going as well.
And he's filming it, and I'm like, this guy's a dummy, right? What a dumbass employee I have. And I'm watching the video. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to make the guy quarantine himself probably for 2 weeks, right? So I'm watching the video. I'm generally disappointed with this employee. I know the employee vaguely, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to make this guy go home for 2 weeks. He probably won't get paid because he voluntarily did this. And I'm watching it, and at the end of the video, my employee goes outside with another gentleman, and they start firing guns into the sky.
Good thinking.
And I'm just like, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, one of my employees is that dumb? Like, doesn't this employee realize we just lost a 13-year-old boy 2 years ago when we tried to get the law changed?
It hits a nerve.
And this dumbass goes out there and fires two magazines into the sky.
Puts it on video.
There you go, Representative. 2 magazines, jackass. Yeah, jackass. 2 magazines.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, freaking a-hole.
And, I mean, he posts it, too.
He posted on the internet because he's proud.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see this video, and I have blood in my eyes. I am, like, livid, Kevin. I literally called up the water department CEO. I was like, meet me at the complex right now. I want this employee in there. I want the union president, the union representative for him in there. And I just drive straight over to the water department. From the moment I watched that, I walk into the office. I verify that he says, yeah, that was me. I posted it. I'm really sorry. I didn't think about it like that. And I fired him right on the spot. And he was shocked. He was like, what?
Yeah.
You're fired? What? How could you, over this? That's so dumb.
Well, I mean, I've seen you, Mayor, in many meetings remind folks that work for the city and are employed by the city, look, you don't just walk away from your city job and you're not a representative of the city. You always are representing the city. And if you're going to post, I mean, think about that. As a city employee, you post that. Nothing happens to you.
Right.
What does that tell the rest of the public about city government, what they care about, what their employees are doing?
That means we can't even police our own city. Like, it's like, oh, what am I going to do? So many employees fire guns into the sky. Am I going to fire everyone? It's just so dumb. And I mean, honestly, this guy is like 30-something years old.
Yeah.
Okay? I know this guy.
Has a good job.
He has a great job. Water department? Come on.
Yeah.
That's one of our best places you could work in.
Sure.
Hammond, right? And this guy started as a security guard at City Hall. I personally helped him
Well, it
take
makes it
his
tough
job.
on you. I mean, you've got to make. I mean, well, I don't want to say make it tough on you because I think you were very clear on your decision making. But I mean, it's just it's a terrible decision that represents city. You know, he works for the city. He's representing the city in that sense because he's on social media saying, "Hey, here you go. This is what I'm doing on New Year's Eve."
Yeah, I'm firing guns. It says right on his Facebook.
I'm committing a crime.
I'm putting it on video. Like, here you go. This is, something that my mayor thinks should be a felony, and I'm going to shoot my gun into the sky.
Well, some people say, "Oh, it's cultural. It's this. It's that." It's
I
like,
did get that.
I mean, are you kidding me?
A friend of mine called up and said, he texted me, and he's like, hey, man, this is sort of a cultural thing. A lot of people do it. If you're going to be firing everybody that does this, you're going to be firing a lot of people.
I don't care what culture you're from.
I agree.
Whatever it is. I don't think that's a good thing, and I don't think
care.
I don't think it's something that you can just say like, oh, it's cultural. That's why it's okay to do. What?
Well, and then another person was arguing with me about this. They said, well, nobody got hurt.
How do you know?
Well,
Tell that to Noah's mom.
But not only that. So you can fire a gun in the sky and get away with it as long as nobody's hurt. But if you kill somebody, then I got to fire you.
How do you even know?
Well,
How do you know if no one's
somebody
got hurt?
I mean, what probably happened is they damaged houses, because there was tons of reports of bullets in houses.
I know for a
bullets
fact.
and coming through windows, bullets coming through doors.
Yep.
Think
about that.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say it. I was talking to a roofer who says, go to commercial buildings around Lake County. You will get leaks because of bullets in the roof.
Great.
Yeah.
You know how freaking expensive commercial roofs are?
Oh, I know.
The roof for my building is over $100,000 if I wanted to replace it.
Why don't you? Yeah, it's not cheap.
No,
commercial
super
roofs are not
expensive.
cheap. Let's get into what the state rep decided to.
So anyway, I have this stalker state rep, Representative Van Adder. He's a
Republican from Kokomo.
He's the perfect example of the pompous supermajority. He's the perfect epitome of the pompous supermajority. Not all the people in the Republican caucus in Indiana State House are total jackasses like Representative Van Adder is, right? But he is a total pompous asshole. I mean, he really is. Let's just be honest, right? And this guy and I have known each other for a long time. He's a lot more self-important. He thinks he's king crap because he's part of a supermajority. So he starts poking me yesterday.
Well, think about this. Okay, so the mayor posts this on Twitter. He mentions Noah's death.
About a 13-year-old that died.
He mentions that this is what happened in his community. He mentions that he had to fire this employee, and he mentions that we had a 13-year-old die over just this type of act.
And also
his
mentioned
response that John just put up, this is his response. This clearly shows your lack of knowledge of firearms, Mayor. It's a magazine, not a clip. So that's his little snarky response. That he thinks is a great idea to this serious community issue.
Right.
And then you go after him pretty hard, and he starts freaking out like, "Why you didn't act like that the last time we had dinner together?
I said,
you didn't act that way,
I said,
this and that."
Representative, you're one of the reasons our bill got killed.
That's right.
We came to you for help. It was your committee. We came to you for help. We talked to you about a 13-year-old that died and not firing guns into the sky, and you didn't even give our bill a hearing.
Because you're an automaton and just do whatever the NRA wants you to do.
That's right.
Because you're afraid.
Right.
And you don't have an independent thought.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And he goes back and forth with you over.
And then finally, I finished it about, I said, you're either tone deaf or dumb, and I think it's a second. I don't think he's tone deaf. I think he's flat fucking stupid, I'll be honest with you. So,
I mean, it's just amazing that that's a response from an elected official to a community issue. That's the response. I'm going to be snarky about how you referred to the ammunition.
It's a magazine, not a clip.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you do your job, asshole, and pass a law that says you can't fire a weapon into the sky. That's all we're asking. Mm-hmm. We're not asking you to limit people's rights to own guns. We're asking you to say, I can't take my gun and fire my magazine, you jackass, into the sky.
So here's our challenge, Representative. Why don't you go ahead and try to resurrect that bill and get it a hearing so we could all hear about it?
He would never do that. That would take bravery. That would take courage.
That would take independent thought.
Yeah. By the way, I did get one good one in on him yesterday because he was like, I think he's doing this for Twitter followers because he
knows you've got thousands.
He has 440 followers, and
I've got more.
I unfollowed him, and I told him, hey, by the way, now you only have 439 followers, and my dead dog has more of them than you.
Don't.
God rest Teddy.
Teddy has more followers than this guy. Come on.
I love
my
Teddy's
dead dog.
Twitter
we miss
account.
Teddy.
My dead dog has more followers than a state rep. I would be so embarrassed if I was a state rep. My dead dog has more followers.
A picture of Teddy wearing like a jail uniform.
Yeah, he has more followers than Representative Van Adder.
God rest his soul.
Yeah,
Teddy.
Well, by the way, that's a representative from Kokomo. Kokomo, please get rid of this guy. He is an embarrassment to our state. Representative Van Adder is an embarrassment. If you're from Kokomo, he's an embarrassment. He's mocking us over the death of a 13-year-old, and we're trying to pass laws that change that, and he's mocking us because it's a clip, it's a magazine,
and then
not
he's
a clip,
coming after
Mayor.
you for going after him.
What a jag-off.
John?
Seriously, that gives you a little preview of what we have to deal with when we go down and deal with people like Representative Van Adder. One of the dumbest representatives in the State House.
He wants to educate us. I mean, John, I don't want to make this put you on the spot. Does this appear to be... how do you feel? What do you feel about it?
I feel it's crazy to shoot your gun. What are you thinking? Did this guy think this is okay? It's safe. It's perfectly safe. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. But I do like, Kevin, you went on, maybe it was this morning or late last night with him on Twitter and tried to turn this thing into a positive thing. Let's get this bill going again.
Yeah. Do something.
Are you kidding me? This guy has no courage at all. Van Adder will kill it just because he wants the NRA to keep donating to him. He has no courage at all. There's no way.
He'd get crap from his other people in his caucus.
This is the most common sense gun law that we're trying to pass, and it's nothing that's going to limit anybody's ability to have a gun. It says you can't shoot it into the sky. If you do, it's a felony.
How is that political?
We pass so many stupid laws.
Yep.
This is such a no-brainer one. And it's obviously not a stupid law. It's just get it.
But it's also
crazy.
a lesson, right? In how special interests sometimes control.
This is a perfect example.
Yeah,
this guy is a robot for the NRA. I mean, if I took an automatic weapon and fired it into the sky, I get an ordnance ticket in Hammond for it, right? And Representative Van Adder wants it to stay that way.
Yeah, he wants to make sure you know what it's called. It's a magazine.
He's a perfect example of what's wrong with politics in America. Heath Van Adder, representative from Kokomo, robot for the Republican supermajority. He just does what he's told all day long. That's it.
All right. That was fun.
Love you, Heath. Have a nice day. I know you're listening.
You know what it honestly makes me think about, too, is
Running committee.
Obviously, one is life and death. The other is a big inconvenience. But the trains blocking intersections, why has that not been taken
Federally.
up yet? And I know Tom is huge about
The
this.
power
affects
of the
us more than
railroads.
Anybody else?
God.
But yeah, the railroads, they have ton of money.
John's like, I'm a Hessville guy. This really hits home.
It does.
John's a Woodmar guy.
Well,
you are
born
now,
and raised in Hessville. Though.
Yeah, you live in
Still got to go to your
now.
folks' house.
Yeah.
Get stopped by a train.
No, either there or coming back, I get stuck by a train. It's
so anyway,
ridiculous.
in addition to my, rocket scientist employee firing guns into the air, I also get a letter on my desk from the chief of police. I have a staff meeting, and I see the letter, and that's unusual behavior. I don't have letters. It says mayor on it, and I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
So I walk in my office.
Happy New Year.
I open it up, and I see the bottom line is like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, but my resignation is effective whenever you deem appropriate. And I'm just like, damn.
That was a surprise, right?
So I had my staff meeting. I didn't say anything to anybody, and I'm like, I'm going to talk the chief out of this. Okay, so I'm like, Chief, I want to talk to you after the staff meeting. And I bring him into my office, and I'm like, come on, man, like you can't retire. Like you don't do this to me. I don't need a change of police administration right now. I got a lot of other things going on, and I could just tell you that JD, first up, he's been chief of police for 7 years. He's done an excellent job. The police department is doing well. The morale is good. Crime is down. I mean,
technology has been instituted.
Technology is amazing. I'm real proud of the police department. I'm real proud of the chief and the administration.
Become more diverse under his leadership.
Absolutely.
In your leadership, I don't mean, yeah.
And I do want to say, like, a lot of people are like speculating because it's not often that a chief just retires.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
And there's usually like an issue going on.
Right. It's usually mayor firing him. It's usually crime is out of control. Something's going wrong. Nothing's going wrong. And he's like, Mayor, everything's going great right now. And when would I walk down? You want me to walk down when things are horrible?
That's a good point.
Right? Like when things are bad, or am I going to get fired one day?
A crisis or something?
Right. He's like, I can control my own destiny here. And I hand over the police department to the next chief, and it's well running. And it is. So, and by the way, like, I'm not going to get into the personal situation going on in his life. He has a lot of personal things going on that being chief of police
on his family.
And being chief of police is a tough job.
Stressful.
Second only probably to being mayor. And so
true.
like carrying the stress and the constant responsibility around and still having to deal with family issues on the side. Like his family is struck hard by COVID. There's just been a lot of things going on in his personal life. And, I love John Doty. I think he did a great job as our chief. I'm sad to see him go as chief. He's still going to be a Hammond police officer for the next couple of years until he officially retires, but I'm happy for him. And now I have a big job on my plate. I have to figure out who the next chief of police is going to be. So
yes, you do.
Yesterday was an interesting Monday.
Sounded like it.
Twitter war.
Yeah.
Firing.
First day back for the year.
Welcome back.
My chief
Sassy.
Resigning. Yeah.
Get sassy on Twitter.
It's like, and now we're here
that
at
was,
season
by the
2.
way, he started it. Like, he just slapped
Absolutely.
me out of nowhere. I'm just sitting there, and he's, like, mocking me. And we're like, I'm dealing with the death of a 13-year-old, a law that we're trying to pass, and I got this state rep that's just, like, mocking
An
us.
employee
It's like,
had to fire.
You're either dumb or stupid. I mean, you're either dumb or tone deaf.
Quite a choice. You're either dumb
or
stupid.
I'm pretty
John,
sure that-
episode 2, season 2, episode 1. You're either dumb or I think we just got the title.
I think that's it.
It always
Good
comes.
one.
You're either dumb or stupid. I love that.
Right.
All right. Well, let's. You know what?
We got a comment from the audience. The lady on WJOB is on air implying there's more to his resigning.
She would know.
Well, of course she would know. She knows exactly what's going on in my
City
administration,
Hall.
right?
This is all sarcasm. By
Coming
the way.
out of living in Crown Point and all.
Yeah.
So
So
knows exactly.
that's
what's
why
up.
that's why they have 12 viewers and we have hundreds.
What would they
Whoa.
do without you, Tom? Honestly, what would
They
the
would have
haters
nothing
do?
to
Much
talk
of a news
about.
cycle. Not much of a news
What
cycle.
would the haters do without Tom?
But the funny thing is, this is obviously these two stories are some of the biggest stories that's going on in our area. And usually I would have been on that station talking about it and driving up their ratings and bringing more comments and people calling. And now we're over here and we're taking it all over here and nobody's watching that pathetic, sad station. So,
Tom's. You want to talk about
That's
what's his
spicy
nickname?
today.
What's his nickname?
Oh, Sassy McSasserson.
He's out. It's out. Sassy McSasserson.
I miss
is
you
out.
guys too.
Let's do our 8 o'clock sponsors, and we're going to come back talk about some personality tests.
The
and some other
personality test is
exciting
very
stuff.
interesting. I mean, I think there's going to be some terminations and some.
I published a poll.
I want to hear. This is great.
John
Tom
put
doesn't
out
even
a
know
poll.
about it.
I'm
This is
super
awesome.
worried about it. By the way, I gave this test to Judge Marissa also.
Okay.
I'm using her as a
Well,
baseline.
yeah, that's a good idea because
Did you
she's
s-
stable.
Did
Yeah,
you see the
Much
poll
more
results,
stable.
Kevin?
I cracked up. You got it. So read to Tom what the
Okay.
I'm over
question
here
was.
making the magic happen. I don't have time to read the internet and shit. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, here's the poll question.
Lockpod Crew personality test results coming up. Who will have the most screwed up personality?
Who do you think won?
It's not
Who do you
It's
think
not
won?
the mayor.
Who do you think
It's
won?
not the locomotive.
Who do you think overwhelmingly?
It's not the locomotive. We all know these
The
things.
locomotive had the most votes as to who would have the most screwed up personality.
What? Are you serious?
It wasn't even close.
Well,
then
Tom
John
and
is a
I,
close second.
we're practically tied for first, which is shocking, people. Me?
Kevin got 1 vote.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
That
It's probably
is
John.
shocking.
It
That
was
is
John.
shocking.
Well,
People
I'm
know.
the only,
think it was your
people
wife.
know who's the calming influence here.
by the
No,
way,
should have voted. You're
I'm
right.
the only one that knows the results. The audience is going to be sad with the results of this. When they come out, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be sad. You're
No,
going to be
they're not.
looking for
I
changes
think
in my
some
administration.
people cheated on their quiz.
Like seriously,
personally.
people are going
I
to
was
be
honest.
people are going to be up in arms that I employ these people, and like that there's things that are going on in our city, and these
There
guys
goes
are.
city government.
Oh yeah, you're going to lose a lot of faith in city government when these poll results come out.
We'll be right back with those.
I think you'll find that the
I don't work for a
locomotive,
city government.
the
so-
locomotive is the most stable
You're
person
right,
in this
Lynn.
room, in my
Sure.
opinion.
In your opinion,
In my opinion,
Metropolitan Steel.
I think Representative Van Adder thinks that also.
he voted definitely for
Did you send him this personality test?
If we did, that would be a good baseline.
Nah,
By the
I
way,
don't know if it's a good baseline,
I had
but
Judge
correct.
Marissa in there because she is a solid baseline for all of us, so we could
Stable.
compare ourselves. Yeah,
She's
if you're a
who we
judge,
should all strive to
You would
be.
hope.
if you're a judge, you're supposed to be solid and stable. So, we'll compare our stability to Judge Marissa.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be right back to do that.
All right.
Metropolitan Steel is a proud union contractor and AISC Advanced Certified Erector with over 60 years of combined experience serving the Chicagoland area. All of Metropolitan Steel's work is performed to exact project specifications, engineered procedures, and code requirements. For more information, call Metropolitan Steel at 708-474-2072. And thanks to Redstone for that sponsorship.
Jack's Carryout at Kenwood Tap. Get some handmade. I'll try this again.
Wow.
Take 2.
Snap. Jack's Carryout at Kenwood Tap. Get some handmade, home-cooked goodness today from Jack's Carryout at Kenwood Tap. Located at 6247 Kennedy Avenue. A delicious meal is only moments away. Jack's has your carryout favorites like shrimp, fish, and chicken that are made ready to order. Friday special is a half a pound of fish and chips for only $6.95. Jack's is open Wednesday through Sunday. Call Jack's Carryout at 219-844-3032. That's 219-844-3032.
Good job on Take 2.
Thank you.
Midwest Air Duct Cleaning. Are your allergies going crazy during this pandemic? Is your heater just not seeming to be as effective as it was last year? Your air ducts may need a cleaning. For quality and affordable air duct cleaning, contact Marinko at 219-671-8868 or at MidwestAirDuctCleaning.com for an estimate. Mention Left to Center for a 10% discount. They also have discounts for seniors, first responders, and veterans. That's Midwest Air Duct Cleaning.
So I reopened the poll briefly.
Okay.
Tom and I are pretty much tied for first right now. And Kevin, you now have 3 votes.
Oh.
I have 5.
I voted for you, Lindsay.
Oh. I don't blame you.
I voted for John.
I voted for myself.
Get ready. Here we go.
Okay, so what is it? This personality quiz was given to me by Marissa McDermott, funny enough.
Okay.
I think she took it like 5 times, let's be honest. Like her
So
results,
make sure her results were perfect.
her results are pretty perfect.
Let me mess with this a little more,
Yeah,
says
she took
Marissa.
it. She took it like 5 times to.
Tom,
to have,
look,
like,
I'm
the
perfect.
I know, and then she's like, "You guys should talk about this." No, I'm just kidding. She did not ask that, but I figured it's a good baseline to talk about a Lake County Circuit Court judge. We just sort of like baseline it, and then we can see how screwed up we are compared to the Lake County Circuit Court judge, right?
How unstable we are compared to
Right.
very stable Marissa.
Okay.
So it's entitled Most Personality Quizzes Are Junk Science. Take one that isn't. And it was by Maggie Kurth and Julia Wolf.
It's backed by science, y'all.
I was on the 538 website.
538 website. Is that a legitimate website?
I mean, not
I've
a,
never
their
heard of it.
polls are
their
so
polls. I was
perfect.
going to say if their polls.
They were spot on for the Hillary Trump election. Let me tell you.
and the last one too.
Okay. So we know it's possibly junk science we're talking about here, right? So we don't like the results, and I have a feeling a couple of you aren't going to like the results. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see.
We
I'm
can blame it on
confident, and I'm comfortable with who I am as a
I agree.
person.
Really?
Thank you, Lance.
Really?
I'm comfortable
Huh.
with my failings and my successes.
Really? Well, you know what? I know a lot more than you do because I have the results right in front of
Okay.
me.
All right.
I don't
Want me
think
to
I'm
open
going to
them?
be surprised at all.
Oh, and the envelope, please.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So let's talk about. Can we at least list the categories?
Yeah, we'll
The
start off. We'll
categories
do them
are-
one at a time.
Can we list the 5 and then you'll go
Sure,
through them?
sure.
So the categories are openness to experience, agreeableness, conscientiousness, negative emotionality, and extroversion.
Okay, so like openness. Let's start with that one. Okay, these are all scaled out of 100. Okay, so we all took the quiz to give you an idea of Judge Marissa scored a perfect 100 out of 100, which is
impossible.
I mean, this is very robot-like, quite frankly. Like, I think Representative Van Adder would appreciate this. 100 out of a 100. So basically, if you're 100 out of 100, you're like experimental, artsy-fartsy, intellectually engaged, curious, subject to substance abuse, which is funny. So if I notice Marissa develops a heroin habit or anything like that, I could just blame it on her personality, right?
Yikes.
Careful.
100 out of 100. For the record, she is not.
Of course, Marissa, you're 100 out of 100 on openness to experience.
Right
now, it's only recreational heroin.
Very hippy.
Have an addiction.
Okay, so we have Marissa
getting there.
So in our group, who is the most open out of our group, you guys? Who do you think?
I would say not me.
So, like, on the other end of this, it's like you're rigid. Like, people on the other end are subject to rigidity.
Maybe not just as daring, maybe? Or is that
You're just, like, set in your ways if you're on the other end of this. So, one side, like Judge Marissa's side is like
hippie,
very, like, flower child. Like, I'm open. I love art. I love everything. And even heroin, I'm open-minded, right? And on the other end, it's rigid, like rigidity. Like, I will not do that.
All right.
I'm setting my ways. Who's the highest? Who's the most open out of our group?
Besides Marissa?
Besides Marissa.
I would guess Lindsay.
No.
Yeah.
What do you think, John? Is this worth a
I'm
poll?
going to guess Lindsay.
You think Lindsay?
I'm going to go with Lindsay, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going
Drum
with
roll.
Dad because
Drum
he
roll?
cheated.
The most, I did not cheat. I took this legit, just like everybody. The most open in our group, besides Judge Marissa, John Besmar.
Oh, John.
83 out of 100.
Well, you're
John.
John's artistic. I mean, he's got he's musician, producer.
But I hate most things.
You're open to them. You're like, I hated that. I tried it.
That's true.
I tried heroin. I didn't like it.
I've never tried olives. Think about that. How am I open-minded?
There's going to be olives dropped off here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you a
Olives
question.
to
Who's
me.
the most rigid in the group? Who's on the extreme other
Kevin.
end?
I say Tom.
Tom McDermott.
So John says Kevin.
I say
Everybody
Tom.
else says Tom.
I say Tom.
The most rigid, least open person in our Lock Pod group is scoring 58 out of 100, Mayor Tom McDermott.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah. Well, and
he's a square.
by rigid, I
am
think that
rigid.
is like I don't know, maybe it's like you're decisive. Like
Okay.
it's
I'll look at
tough
it
for
that
you
way.
to. I mean, how many conversations have we had where I'm like, look, you got to look at this aspect of it. You got to look at this aspect. I think initially you're rigid. You think about things, and then maybe you switch your mind.
Well, like yesterday when I fired our employee,
that was rigid.
it was within 15 minutes of me seeing the video. He was terminated. That's
Yeah.
pretty rigid, right?
Decisive.
It's
would
just
say.
like, this guy's fired as soon as I saw it, right? So I guess, I'm sort of liking this personality quiz so far. I think it's accurate so far. Okay? You guys want to go through the next one?
Yeah, sure. This is agreeableness.
Could you describe what agreeableness is, Kevin?
I think agreeableness. Hold on, I gotta have this. I had it. Sorry, it's flipped off.
It's
Agreeableness.
Like niceness.
Is it niceness?
Politeness.
Politeness.
Ability to get along with other people.
Okay.
Right, and
The
if
higher your score is.
if you're really low, like I think what they
Going
said in
with
this
the flow?
was, going with the flow. It's really hard to get a really low agreeableness because if
Oh,
you're really
shit.
low,
Unless
we
you're
go.
like a
it
psychopath.
says
it
like
really?
really low agreeableness indicates like criminal type behavior.
Really?
It's
That's
almost
interesting.
impossible to get like in the
That's
lower
really
10%.
interesting.
Oh, my God.
Because we have somebody in this room that's
Most
really
people are in the
Oh,
middle.
no.
Who's
somebody
the
in this-
criminal?
Most
Okay,
people are
let's-
in the middle.
Let's start with Judge Marissa, okay? Judge Marissa scored 67 out of 100
Okay.
on agreeableness.
Moderate.
Moderate. She's
Moderate.
in the middle.
Yeah.
That's where most people
So
are.
she's
makes
mostly
sense.
mostly agreeable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who is the most agreeable person in this room? This person was more agreeable than Judge Marissa.
I'm
I'm
going to
gonna say
go
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Me.
Wow.
I'm very nice.
Yeah.
All three of you?
Except to you.
Well, I know. I think you're not. Lindsay's not argumentative. I mean, she's kind of a go with the flow.
This
During the campaign, Kevin keeps trying to get me to yell at people who owe us money or like who we're trying to get our products in or something because of COVID. And Kevin's like, just yell at them. And I'm like, I can't. Please don't
See?
make me do this.
Lindsay's agreeable.
This is my daughter.
Yes. Well, I mean, and that's also maybe a good comment, Tom. Like, she's your daughter, so like as rigid as you're the most rigid.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be the most
I'm the
agreeable.
most
She's got to be like,
adaptable.
if I got to get along with Dad.
So being high in agreeableness is comparative to Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
There
Compassionate, less likely
Oakley
to be
dokley,
bullied.
Linz.
Less likely
How
to
do
be
you do,
bullied.
Burrito?
More likely to do well in school. Good natured. That's
That is
agreeable.
Lindsay.
Okay, so
very
scoring
good-natured.
88 out of 100, which
Whoa.
is damn high. Lindsay McDermott.
Yeah.
Most
Go,
agreeable
Linz.
in the room.
Congrats.
I'm very nice.
We
Okay.
know that about you.
However-
Everybody knows how nice
And you
I
put
am.
up with us.
And I put
You
up
have
with
to be
it.
agreeable.
And I'm not mad about the hijinks you get up to. So.
Okay,
I
so
love hijinks.
least agreeable in the room.
Ooh.
Okay, like I said, to remind you,
But everyone's in the middle, right?
Judge Marissa scored. Nah, this person's pretty rigid. This person's pretty jacked up. I mean, they actually emailed me afterwards and said, "Who is this person?" And I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You know, we were just
right.
experimenting." But
Who is the least agreeable?
Tom McDermott.
who is this jacked up person?
I'm
in
going
our
to go
room?
with Tom as
Well,
well.
Tom.
Scoring 42 out of 100. It's a particularly large group. Less tendency towards empathy, compassion, less trust of your fellow human beings.
Oh.
No goody, but not a selfish
This
jerk.
is me.
You
Tom.
guys ready to make your votes?
I'm going with you.
Lindsay, who is it?
I said you.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tom.
Scoring 42 out of 100. John Vesmar.
What?
Yeah.
John.
Agreeableness, 42. It is concerning.
You know what?
Concerning
Well,
life.
you are.
I don't
So
like
John's
revealing
a jerk
this
and
stuff
I'm really
anymore.
nice.
Conspiracy theories.
You guys are like, this bit sucks.
The election's been stolen.
Bullshit.
Find those 11,000
hate
votes
this
in
bit.
Georgia.
Look, I think someone switched out Tom's internal parts of the phone with other internal parts.
Hey man, these are experts. I don't know if these are experts in psychology that are putting this together. That's all I can
know
say.
this about you. All
A
right, next.
lack of empathy.
Yeah. A lack of
Distrust.
compassion of your fellow human beings. That's John Vesmar
Oh
all
my
day.
God, Laura just called me a jerk. In this
Wow. Well,
she
she's
said,
been-
I knew it. John is a jerk.
Oh,
Oh,
right like
jeez.
that.
She's being banned.
Oh, no way.
She's a top fan.
She's
She's
one of our top fans.
Top
She's one of
fan
our
fan.
only. She's one of our only top fans. You can't ban our top fan.
See, this really goes to show that he's a jerk. It's because
No,
he's
it's
like,
true.
Yeah,
she's
he's
mean,
like-
I'm banning her.
I don't
right
like most
now.
Right there. You know what, Lindsay? You're right. Rigid. See, you're rigid.
See, these things have legs, man.
Yeah, these things
All
definitely.
right.
They
have some
people
creepy
want a
to it.
link to the. Can we get a?
Yeah.
Put a
I'll
link
put
in
it
the
up, man.
chat for
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
That's not my
put it up.
job. I'm over here making the magic, dude. I don't got time to
Put it up,
links
John. Put it
I'll
up.
put it up. I got it.
All right. Here we go.
Conscientiousness. is
Conscientiousness. So this is like to give you a description of this. It's conscientiousness. Hold on. Organized, responsible, likely to be religious,
a wee bit boring.
carriers of tradition, like joining a local Elks club, works hard, likely politically conservative, attention to detail, a great date, a stable marriage partner.
That's me, obviously.
That's
Like to
high in
work hard.
That's me. So Marissa McDermott, our baseline, scored 63 out of 100.
Whoa.
So like
It's pretty moderate.
she's solid.
also said a
she's
wee
a
bit
solid
boring
date.
if
I
you're
can tell you,
high.
she's a solid date. She's a solid marriage partner, no
right.
doubt about it. Okay, so the person in our group scored much higher than Marissa McDermott, much higher. And then this, who was that person that
So
scored
wait, high
super high
means
on
like-
conscientiousness?
Super type A personality.
No, organized, responsible,
Type A.
likely to be religious, carrier of tradition,
Republican.
a joiner of clubs, likely politically conservative,
I was a Boy Scout.
attention to detail, a great date, a stable marriage partner.
Me.
Who is this
I'm
person?
going with me.
I think
John
it's
goes with
Kevin.
We all
So-
want to say ourselves.
I'm a
Lindsay's
jerk, but I'm a good marriage partner.
I say Kevin.
Kevin. Lindsay says Kevin.
I'm gonna
He's
say
very
John.
organized. Kind of.
Okay, here
I
we
try
go.
to be.
Here we go. Scoring 79 out of 100, which is higher than Judge Marissa. Kevin Smith,
Haha.
most conscientious.
Well,
of the
I
group.
did notice it does say a wee bit boring, so that definitely qualifies me. So that
It didn't say boring. I didn't see that part.
I did.
Stable.
Possibly a wee bit boring.
I question the stable marriage partner. I've talked to Janet quite a few times. Her and
she knows better.
I talked to her about the results of this, and she called the whole thing.
She's like
into
he
question.
was lying.
He was making. Okay, who is on the other end of conscientiousness in our group? Again,
The worst
Marissa
date.
McDermott was 63 out of 100. This person scored 42 out of 100.
What?
So yeah, this person
Who's the messiest person here?
it's messy, disorganized, probably politically moderate. It says probably politically moderate, messy, and disorganized.
I'm going with Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Lindsay,
Only
you're
because
going
of the
with you too?
political side
I'm
of
Does
it.
this
going
mean
with
she's the
myself.
worst date
I thought
of
for
the
sure.
four of us?
I'm pretty moderate. That
I
just
mean-
means I'm the best of both worlds.
She
There you
just got
go.
married too, and this doesn't speak to her marriage partner ability.
She's a
Well,
she's
you know
a,
what?
She's a newlywed.
Yeah,
Brian is very stable, so I
Good
think
point.
that's why it works.
we should have given. How do you know? You don't know that you're the person. It could
You haven't
be
given
me.
him the
It could
test.
Be Vesmar.
He could
I
be lower
could
than
have given
you.
him the
Why is
test.
everyone saying me in the chat, dude? I don't understand. What is? You know what? I'm done. This is season 2, episode 1. I'm out.
John
That's
Vesmar,
it.
rigid.
Okay, here we go.
Everyone's ripping John. Like
I don't agree with what they're saying. In the
I am
chat.
unagreeable.
Open it.
Yes. Oh, the envelope, please.
Okay.
Envelope. Okay. The least conscientious person in this group scoring 42 out of 100. My daughter, Lindsay McDermott. Yeah, that's
Boom.
right.
Chat was wrong.
Congrats,
That's right.
Lynn.
That's right. Okay.
I'm not that messy. I don't pay attention to the small details.
Okay.
All right. This
let's
is
move on.
negative emotionality. So interestingly enough, a high score on this means that you are plagued by anxiety, sadness, anger, and conflict.
Yeah,
Me.
you're basically
So
plagued
you
by
want low.
Spicy
propensity towards
emotions.
anger, sadness, prone towards conflict, have lost emotionally colorful. Yeah, basically.
Emotionally colorful.
Okay, so
Lots
we
of
have one
feelings.
person in this room that's first off, Judge Marissa, 8 out of 100,
8.
which
Okay,
is
so that's good.
a great score. Meaning, in fact, if out of all of us, Marissa had the best score on negative emotionality.
Means she's happy all the time.
Yeah, it's generally associated with job satisfaction, commitment to the team, tendency to happily stay in a job for a long time with no burnout.
All right.
So Judge Marissa had the best score in the room.
8.
Okay, of 8.
That's
so
low.
who had, besides Judge Marissa, who had the lowest negative emotionality score in this room?
I want to know who had the highest, too. 'cause
Wait,
that's
is
gonna be the
chat
source.
saying I'm the highest negative emotionality or lowest?
You're like totally caught up
everyone's
in the
saying
chat.
my name.
John's like,
right
God
now."
damn, man, everybody's beating me up on this.
Other
chat."
than Kelly Reed, thank you for sticking up for me. And by the way,
John's in the rabbit hole.
anyone who
It's like,
reacts,
why are they attacking me? It's like, pay attention to the show, man.
John's going right
No,
to his
fuck the
therapist. He's like, off to your therapist, John.
anyone who reacts to Laura's comment that I'm a jerk, I'm keeping it. I will remember.
You're
that.
watching. You're watching.
Okay. Anyway,
All right. So there was a tie in this room for the two people with the lowest negative emotionality. Like, again, associated with job satisfaction, commitment to the team, tendency to happily stay in a job for a long time with no burnout. 17 years as mayor. Excuse me.
Good point.
Did you?
It said no burnout.
So who? Yeah, with no burnout, a little burnout. But anyway, who has the best scores? Two people in the room scored 17.
Dad and Kevin.
I believe that.
I'm gonna go with that too.
Yeah.
That's because they work together.
You guys are
They
exactly
like to
right.
hold hands.
Wow.
Kevin
How
and
about that?
Kevin and Tom.
What a
17
team.
out
Because
of
they
100.
work together.
Yeah.
Now on the other
No
end,
burnout.
On the other end of the scale,
John.
there's somebody in here that's plagued by anxiety, propensity towards anger, sadness, prone towards conflict.
Sick of the podcast.
So, like, who is this person that is plagued by anxiety and has a tendency to get angry, sad, and prone to conflict?
I
This
clearly
person-
did all three, looking at all four, looking at the chat.
By the way,
Thank you, Andrea.
So there's only two people left in this room. Both of them scored extremely high on this one. So like, let's just be honest. It's a race on the other end. So
a race
who
to
is
the
the
bottom.
winner? I will announce it.
Oh, the envelope.
Lindsay McDermott wins
Oh,
with
John, you
92.
escaped.
Almost a
92?
Almost a perfect score.
Wow,
Jeez.
Eva, really?
It's because I'm very nice and I'm really sad about it.
And
you know?
emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional about it.
Oh,
Prone-
Lynn.
I'm just very compassionate.
We need
I
some.
feel for people.
We need
you
some
know?
Xanax in the
Unlike
studio.
You need a doctor to prescribe that, Dad.
Oh yeah. Okay. So last but not least,
Eva and
extra
Eileen. Wow.
extroversion.
Extroversion.
You want to describe?
Yeah, it has to. I think it means that it's not like necessarily being an extrovert, but just that you think your life's good, even if it's not. You're more likely to feel like it is. They have positive subjective well-being. Same kind of thing. You think it's great, even if it's not.
Mm-hmm. Strong
All right.
friendships.
Strong friendships. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they're delusional.
Delusional,
They
right?
think life
Basically.
is good, even though it's not.
Yeah, you're delusional. You're like, man, everything is great. Even if like your wife hates you, you're like, this is great. We have a great marriage. And she's like, right, that kind of
But
stuff.
increased happiness correlates to social support and better health outcomes.
Okay. So, by the way, for frame of reference, Judge Marissa, the perfect baseline, scores 83 out of 100, which means that life is good. God, I mean, let
Mostly
me tell you.
extroverted.
Let me
It's
tell
like
you
you
something.
are a-
Marissa's life is good.
Well,
She's
I mean-
happily married to me.
The
like,
locomotive.
to the locomotive, right? gonna
Mother
be-
of pearl.
That's going to be her. I like
I
that.
like that
Linz.
one too, Linz.
Yeah. So anyway,
Cheese and
Marissa was
rice.
the baseline at 83. We had one of us score very low, 42. One of us scored very high at 96.
That's why
So
this podcast is good. We're all over the place.
so let's go with the low first. So the low would be
Lindsay.
Kevin votes Lindsay. Who does Lindsay vote for?
I think I'm in the middle somewhere. I don't think I'm the lowest. I think John's the lowest.
All right.
I mean,
it could be John. Because you know what?
He
Lindsay's
keeps his
like,
cards close to his
that's true.
chest.
You know what? I'm switching my vote. I agree with Lindsay. It's John.
What is this category? I'm just reading the chat
is
right now.
extroversion.
I'm totally
I'm in the rabbit hole.
What is this?
Like
Who's
basically,
going to die first?
if you're if you're high on this, John, then your life is good. Everything's great. Subjective well-being. I have great friends. Everything's great.
He's going
And
to
if
tell us
you're
what
on
John
the
thinks
other
of the podcast, too.
end- right?
I'm going to go with Kevin
On the low?
for high.
Oh, for high. All right.
Winner is
Who's
Low
the
and high.
lowest?
lowest. Lindsay McDermott.
Oh.
Winner, 42 out of 100. Highest.
Little
Life is good even if it's not. Subjective
Delusional.
well-being. Sort of delusional. Strong friendships.
Kevin for sure.
Lindsay, who do you say?
Kevin.
Kevin, who do you say?
It's either me or you.
Kevin Smith, 96
Wow.
out of
What
100.
did you have, though?
Life is good. I had 88.
All
I
right,
was up
so-
We're
there.
very close.
Yeah.
Delusional.
This is a great friend. So basically, the summary was psychiatrists are being sent to Hammond, Indiana immediately.
City Hall.
particularly to Griffith, new resident Lindsay McDermott's home. So
Yes, I'm really glad that last semester.
I hope Brian heard this.
Last season, we started the Get Lindsay into Therapy Fund, and if you
You're
would
right.
like to keep buying sponsorship packages,
Yeah.
it'll continue funding my
We're
therapy.
going to have a therapist on site.
that was a good idea, by the way.
Good
That was-
job. Thank you, Marissa.
that was a good bit. Thank you, Marissa. That was
real good.
it killed like 20 minutes. So
And we had nothing. We had nothing,
we
else
had nothing to talk about. And our audience learned a lot more about us, which is great.
Scary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are they happy or not happy?
I don't know.
Hey.
I don't think it was that. I think it was accurate. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think it was very telling. I feel like people can guess this based on our conversations.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
I was going to say, if people want to follow that link and take the test and submit your results
Yeah, I
to us
posted
through
it in the
Messenger,
comments.
Please.
we may read your results on the next show.
If they're
Ooh.
absolutely insane.
But
yeah,
anyone
we
who-
have to read the insane ones. So, like, send us your personality profile, and we will mock you on the air live.
And for
next
those
week.
of you who are just listening and not watching, the link is projects.538, spell it out, FIVE, so on, .com/personality-quiz.
All right,
Okay.
all right, good. Thank you, Lynn.
I really liked it. It only took like, I don't know, 5 minutes to take
Yeah,
the quiz.
5-10 minutes.
not
I
Not
think
even 5
complicated.
There was
minutes.
probably, what, 30 or 40
John
questions?
said it took him a long time because he thought really hard on each question.
I was thinking hard,
John?
too.
I did, and this is the thanks I get. Chat's just coming at
When you hear John's mic drop.
John is a curmudgeon.
Hey,
I saw
Ha
that.
ha ha.
okay.
Wow.
So, by the way, we have a couple things to wrap up. I know today's election day in Georgia.
Yeah,
Obviously.
how about that? The president made his 19th phone call to the Secretary of State over the weekend.
Was that insane?
transcript was insane. I read that the Secretary of State in Georgia taped it specifically because of what had happened with Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham asked him to like overturn it, and
Right.
they didn't tape it, and then he denied it.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, "I'm taping this."
Good.
Yeah, it was. If you read that transcript, it is absolutely crazy.
It's criminal.
We'll find out, I guess. I mean,
Hold it. Let me ask you. Let's change the hypo here, John. Okay. What if I did that in a mayor's race and I was calling the Lake County Election Board, pressuring them to find another 500 votes so I could win my mayor's race? Is that legal, Kevin Smith?
there
attorney at law?
would be an investigation opened immediately, I would think.
If it was tape recorded and dropped in the media that I was calling and saying, Michelle Feynman, I need 500 more votes stat, or else I'm going to lose this race, I would be
Could you
indicted
imagine?
so quickly. I
John,
would be indicted
that's
so
a good point, John. Now, I don't know what, I'm not saying the president did or didn't do anything criminal, but I'm saying if that happened in Lake County, there'd be hell to pay.
There'd be blood in the streets.
Hell to pay.
From what I learned in my years, 17 years, watching people get indicted, watching people go to prison, from what I've learned, it's like the frog in the pan.
There you go.
On the stove, right? The temperature has changed in my time, and I've changed with it because you have to. And if you don't change, you're going to get boiled alive like the frog in the pan, right?
Mm-hmm.
From what I've learned in my 17 years is that is clearly over the line. You can't, as an executive, myself, president, governor, you can't interfere in politics in your official capacity. And that's what he was doing. He's the president of the United States. He's calling up the Georgia Secretary of State and asking him to basically fix, a
Well,
deficit.
like all these,
Recalculate.
and John, I want you to chime in here because like all these, like, it was like he was just like almost reading off some sort of information that someone fed him. And it just kept getting like more and more crazy and bizarre, like almost like he was in a alternative reality or something. Like,
So I'll say this.
Yeah.
So I read the headlines right before I even heard the audio.
Right.
And of course, mainstream media is freaking out. Like this is another thing we're going to put Trump in jail for. So I finally listened to the audio, and I'm not really hearing anything I think is necessarily criminal. But then he kind of lost me when he was like, is it true that internals were changed with other internal parts? And I was like, man, this is kind of going down the rabbit hole.
Right?
If Trump was saying, look, we think we won Georgia, you got to do the right thing and do signature verification, blah, 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 blah. But he started going down a rabbit hole there. As if like maybe Giuliani was sitting next to him, or even Lynn Wood's kind of going off the rails.
It's almost like that.
Yeah.
It was weird. And another thing is, like, why, like you said, John, like, why Georgia? You're not going to, if you overturn Georgia, you're not going to win the election.
Why Georgia?
You're not going to win the election. And it's a Republican state.
Right.
But maybe that's why, because he's so miffed that he lost a red state. Yeah, interesting.
I think that's it. By the way, my mother's watching. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Sue.
She's out in California.
Love
my
her.
mother-in-law in New York is watching.
Hi, Grandma.
Both ends of the country.
We got people on both ends of the country watching right now.
Do we have anybody in Kokomo?
Love you guys,
listening?
both of you. Thanks for watching and listening.
Kokomo, are you there?
I hope
We should
Kokomo
have
is listening.
Vanetta as a guest.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Bring it
That'd
on.
be great.
Bring it
I would
on.
do it. Hey, Representative Heath, if you're listening, I know you are. If you're listening,
No.
please let me know. If you want to be a guest, we'll put you on. That'll be interesting. And we could ask
We'd
you.
be happy to have him on.
I
And
seriously-
have him defend himself.
I
Have him-
seriously doubt that he would be brave enough to come on, because we're not going to freaking be nice. We're going to ask you tough questions like, why do you take good proposals like the one we had about not firing weapons into the air and kill the bill without a hearing?
You know what? Speaking of weird proposals, you mentioned to me that there's a bill floated that says the state government is going to take over Indy Police.
Isn't that crazy?
It doesn't
Check
make any
this
sense
out.
to me.
There's a bill floated right now that says that the Indianapolis Police Department, which is run by the mayor, because that's what police departments are, they're run by the mayor, would be replaced with a board of 5 people. The mayor has 1 appointment to the board, and the governor of Indiana has 4. They would literally, that's one of the basic staples of being a mayor is public safety.
If you can't, could you imagine if you didn't have the police department, something happens and you don't have the ability to
something
say
happens and I have to call the governor, and then the governor passes me off to his people, and I have to talk to his people, and then they're like, oh, we'll get back to you.
I mean, Mayor Joe's got to be like, what in the world?
That just shows you what we deal with. It's such a, like, you run into people like Van Adder. These people that are just closed-minded.
He'd probably vote for that.
You're a Democrat, screw you. Yeah, he would vote for it. I guarantee you he'd vote, because he's a freaking robot. He's told what to do, and he does it. And then he gives me crap. No wonder you only have 300 and something Twitter followers. You're like a robot. That's all.
If you have less followers than me and you're an elected official, that's not a good sign.
He's got less followers than my dead dog.
No. Well, anyway, there's another bill that I guess we'll follow. I'd love to hear.
We will follow.
I'd love to hear him. And by the way, congrats to Mayor Joe. You previewed it with him, Mayor, when he was on Mayor Joe Hogsett when he was on the show. You talked about the fact, hey, Mayor Joe, is the NCAA coming to Indy?
The NCAA tournament.
It is.
They announced that if we have a tournament, which we're all hoping for, they're going to have every game in the Indianapolis area.
Isn't that cool? What a great
with no audience
shot in the arm for the economy down in Indianapolis.
It'd be a bigger shot if there's people there. But
good job, Mayor Joe. Good job with the governor, whoever helped get that here. It was
good
really,
job, Mayor Joe.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to probably try to take that from him too.
Well, I'm sure hopefully it was a group effort.
Mayor Joe,
things like that.
Outstanding. By the way, he talked about it on Lock Pod. He talked about how proud he was and how hard they're working on it, and it was finalized. It was in this morning's paper actually that they're going to play the tournament.
It's a really cool idea, and I'm telling you, think about 64 or 68 teams, whatever it is, are going to be in Indianapolis in a bubble, but that's going to help the hotel industry. It's going to help the food industry down there, even if they're in a bubble and there's no fans, and hopefully there'll be some fans.
Yep. And then we got a couple sports things to talk about real quickly.
Yeah.
Notre Dame got their ass kicked. And then Bears are about to get their ass kicked. So that's our sports segment.
That's so good.
For those of you that are tuning in for sports, that's
so
your
good.
summary.
Tom, that was great.
By the way, how about the Cubs' big signing? Did you see that?
How about the Cubs' big giveaway? You Darvish.
I don't mind that as much as their big signing. Did you see it?
No.
They signed an announcer for a marquee network. I hope this guy could pitch because they're going to suck next year.
I just, the Ricketts have a reputation for being cheap. It's almost like they're going to go down the Wrigley. The Wrigley's, when they owned the team, that was their MO, cheap. It's like the Ricketts are going down that way now. Oh, we won a World Series. Let's just see how much we can milk out of the fans now. We're going to give away our pitchers. I mean, pitching was awesome, by the way. Pitching,
I agree.
The pitching on the Cubs.
Why would you have a
strong
potential
suit.
Cy Young Award winner if you have the team that can't compete? I get why they traded it, and they do need to restock
for almost
their minors.
Nothing.
Well, they got a pitcher and 4 minor leaguers.
All right, let's see where they go. We'll monitor them over the next several years.
Anyway, it's great to be back on the air.
Season 2.
Season 2, episode 1.
It was fun.
It was
We learned
fun.
a lot about each other.
I learned a lot about you guys. It worries me actually greatly. I'll be honest with you.
So did it work? Did Tom have the most screwed up personality? No, John did.
I think
according to our
did.
listeners.
I think Lindsay's definitely the most
I
emotional.
had the most extremes.
There you go.
So the most emotional in the room, Lindsay.
I went up and down. I had like 2 highs and like 2 lows.
Okay, and then the most Boy Scout like in the room,
Is Kevin.
for sure, right? And then the most basically cold-hearted and uncaring person in the room.
His dad.
No, I think we all learned that that's John Desmar. I think we learned that the locomotive is like the
most
steady,
rigid.
the most steady influence in this room. I think that's what I
No,
learned.
I don't.
I'm pretty sure that's
I
what it
don't
was
think
saying.
that's accurate.
They, actually,
We'll let Marissa
538
comment.
texted me after, and they said, "This is really a great score you had."
You're awesome, Mayor.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what
How
they
did
said.
They said you should be. You know, it's funny. They said I should be an elected official. And I'm
Wow.
like, funny enough,
I am.
already
I am. Right?
I wonder what their polling had for you.
By the way, overwhelmingly, people want to see Rep Van Natter on the show.
Yeah, come on on.
Come
We'd
on
love to
on,
have him.
Heath.
We would love to. I would enjoy a discussion with
He
him.
would never do it.
Probably
It'd be
not.
interesting.
It would be. We would. And
We would
really
zoom him in. By the way,
Anybody,
for the record.
any state rep wants.
I
to
would
come on.
zoom you in, Rep. I
Yeah.
would zoom you
We'd
in.
make
You don't
it
have
work.
to drive up here. You
Nuh-uh.
can just
In fact,
Zoom on
Skype
in.
you.
in fact, we prefer you zooming in.
Oh, boy.
now he's definitely not.
Yeah. Tom's like, maybe I don't want him. Let me insult him some more. All right, let's wrap it
Thanks
up.
everybody
Lindsay
for
says.
watching Lock Pod. It's great to see you all. It's great to be back in the studio with my psychotic crew.
Socratic.
Socratic.
Socratic. Kevin Smith, the great corporate counsel for the city of Hammond,
Thanks,
and my
man.
partner, and my staffer, according to Representative Van Adder.
Yes, I saw.
Right? Lindsay McDermott, my
Hello.
great emotional daughter, who I
Lindsay
love very much.
Perosco.
Carrasco, excuse me.
My
Sorry about that, Brian. It's a process.
He's
Lindsay.
rolling here, John.
Right.
Wait till he gets to you.
John Vesmar, my favorite Republican, cold-hearted, uncaring, hates his fellow human beings. John Vesmar.
Suspicious of them.
And from the locomotive, we love you and miss you. Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for watching Lock Pod. We'll be back on Friday as normal. Thanks, everybody. Nice to see you.